If science fiction has taught us anything, it's that we are fed up with how small the Earth is. Ever since we've been looking up into the sky and seeing just how vast the universe is, we've wanted to explore it. Yet for some, this is not enough. We as humans want to know everything, so naturally we have to ask, what's out there, and how far out there can we go? Essentially, what is outside the universe? It's a very ambitious question, but we're going to tackle it on this episode of Stuff You've Probably Wondered with Captain McMuffin. A word of warning, this one is gonna get metaphysical. Of course, this monster of a question is already too complex to even consider because we really know almost nothing about the nature of the universe. However, most theories fall under two categories, the idea that the universe is finite and that the universe is infinite. We can't readily determine which is true because we can't see the universe in its entirety, provided that it has an entirety. The observable universe, that is, the amount of space we can see, is about 156 billion light-years in diameter. We can't see what's beyond this because light that far away hasn't hit us yet. This is a unit of measure called the Hubble Volume. If we do have a universe that has a defined size, then we can start to understand why the universe is expanding. How do we know this? When we observe stars and galaxies, they all have a reddish tinge due to the Doppler effect, meaning they're all moving away from us, except for Andromeda, who is hopelessly head-over-planetary nebula attracted to us. Back to the expanding universe. Those who say that the universe is infinite have to answer a very good question. If the universe is expanding, what is it expanding into? I mean, the universe, by this way of looking at it, is all that exists, so how can you expand when there's no outlying space to expand into? This is an extremely abstract idea, so physicists have begun to look at some theories that could explain what's outside the outside. The easiest to understand is what is known as the Great Attractor. This is an enigmatic something that exists beyond the reaches of the universe, and it has a mass that is so unbelievably vast that its gravitational pull is forcing the universe to expand on all sides. Imaginations run wild as we wonder what the Great Attractor might be. It could be something as simple as a mind-bogglingly large object to an abstract idea such as a black hole that funnels gravity from a whole other universe. The other, less probable theory is a space-time sandwich, where what we know as the universe is really just a slice of salami, a single dimension out of many. This is the basis of string theory, which is way too complicated to explain, but to be brief, everything that exists is made up of incredibly small strings. These strings are the size of a Planck length, which is really just the smallest something can get and still make physical sense. When these strings vibrate at certain frequencies, an entirely new dimension comes into existence, and apparently there are 11 of them. However, the idea of a finite universe is actually one that is generally dismissed by physicists. An infinite universe is the way to go, and quite frankly, it's a lot easier to explain. With an infinite universe, our theories of the nature of the universe are literally boundless. First of all, the best way to understand this infinite universe is to imagine a small bug inside a balloon. If someone were to blow up the balloon, the bug would see that the universe expands, but it has no way to get out of the balloon because it continues to expand. This explains the idea that the universe is autonomous. That is, it defines itself by being all that can and does exist. Second, the infinite universe contains everything. You heard right, everything. This means anything that the wackiest and most imaginative mind can think of actually exists for real somewhere in the universe. In fact, you could theoretically find a mirror image of yourself that does and has done everything that you yourself have done since you were born. So where can you find this theoretical doppelganger? A mere 10 to the 10 to the 188th meters away. More perplexing is the idea of infinite bubbles. This involves bits and pieces of the universe that have stopped expanding altogether in the infinite universe after the Big Bang. What's in these bubbles? Why, infinite space, of course. Because the universe is infinite, it doesn't have a defined space, and therefore can contain spaces that are infinite themselves. By now your brain is probably ready to explode in a mushroom cloud of utter confusion, and you're probably looking for an ultimatum. Well, to be honest, while physicists generally agree that the universe is infinite, we don't actually know. In fact, we may never know, and here's why. First off, the universe in and of itself is an abstract concept because in theory, everywhere is the center. That's right, no matter how far into any direction you travel, you will always be at the center of the universe. Because everything in the universe is expanding at exactly the same rate, and everything that expands is moving away from everything else, everything is technically the center of the universe. Also, the speed at which these things are moving is immensely fast. If you were to travel at the speed of light toward one point in the universe, it's possible that you'd never reach it, because although the speed of light is fast, 186,000 miles per second, it still takes the most distant objects billions of years to reach Earth. And that brings us to the final reason. As far as we know, our cosmic horizon is 14 billion years. Beyond that, we can't know what else is out there. As Neil deGrasse Tyson, the most awesome astrophysicist that exists, points out, the horizon is defined by two things. The fact that the universe had a beginning, and the fact that the speed of light is not infinite. It has a speed. Those two factors conspire to give us a horizon, just as a ship at sea has a horizon. Yet a ship is pretty sure that the Earth goes beyond the horizon of the ship. So that wraps up this rather lengthy explanation of the nature of the universe. Yes, it is more of a theoretical one than the discussions from the past 3 SYPWs, but abstraction is what really makes us question what we know as fact, and put what we understand into question. Keep on wondering, everyone, and if you have any questions you want me to answer, put it in the comments below or email me at captainmcmuffin@gmail.com. Also, in the comments, share your thoughts on the matter. Is the universe infinite or finite? I'm Captain McMuffin, and I'll see you next time on Stuff You've Probably Wondered.